Hey, everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business. Looking forward to talking to Charlie Bales. Charlie, welcome to the show again. Good to have you.
Thanks,
We
John.
talked a little bit about your other business last time, but here we're talking about you. You're the founder and CEO of CB Supplements. You have a whole line of collagen, and I never knew there were so many. I'm somewhat of a health food nut. Collagen is I didn't know there were so many different types of collagen. I'm looking forward to talking to you, about your company as an entrepreneur, but also not only the benefits of what collagen is, but when people even need collagen and why they need it. So I think it's one of those things of when people say it, they don't know what it is. And so I was actually just at a holistic doctor I go to named Dr. Tent, and they were saying, hey, you got to add collagen. This was just this week. Add some collagen to, because I went and they said you have gout, and so I needed so they're like, okay, take this protein shake and put some collagen in it for your joints. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, but what does it do? Blah blah blah. Anyway, welcome to the show, Charlie. Good to talk with you. So talk a little bit about what led you to starting CB Supplements, and kind of all of the different avenues when it comes to well, let's just start there. What drove you to kind of start this company?
Yeah, the simple answer is being a dad. Um,
Yeah.
I have 3 kids now, and they're all summer birthdays, so they'll all be turning 8, 6, and 2. And that oldest one, 8-year-old, she's the girl. Her name is Vivian, and so she was the first. And you look at responsibility and health, and you just look at that differently once you have a kid. So she was really the starting of the fire that has become just a passion for wanting to help people achieve health. Because Vivian, she was a totally normal baby. Like everything was fine there. But once she, after a couple months, she got sick a lot. And Leanne and I, my wife, we're wondering, why is this happening? And we did what everybody does. You go to the doctor, you listen to the doctor, you take the meds, you do this and that. And finally, after about a year or so of it, and she was getting worse, we said enough, and just
Yeah.
started down this path of discovering. I mean, you said you went to a holistic doctor this week. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what holistic medicine was, or naturopathic medicine, or anything like that. So we discovered this whole new world of health and wellness and medicine. And now we're in year 4 of having this business. But that's the short answer, that it started because I became a parent. And you just, as any parent, I'm sure, that's listening to your show, parents want to do what's best for their kids, especially their health.
But let's talk about that moment where you are, um, you know, you're a year in, nothing seems to work. I'm a big fan. In many cases, you got to be your own doctor, right? You have a responsibility. I'm 49. I just turned 49. When I was 30, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. But then when I was 40, I was told that the cancer came back and I was basically going to die. And I basically told them I don't agree, and I forced for second opinions and tests, and it was a mistake by the doctors. Had I not been my own, played kind of taken the role of responsibility of being my own doctor, I'd probably be dead right now. And so talk about kind of what that shift is when you kind of just take on that next level of education to be your own doctor, and the path it takes you on a little bit more.
Yeah, and your story is inspirational, and just reading about it, I mean, kudos to you, man. That's so awesome. And
Oh, thanks.
I completely agree that we all have a responsibility to ourselves and to our loved ones to care for our health.
Yeah.
And as opposed to just letting the doctors do whatever they want. Doctors are trained in a very specific, particular field. And medicine is one of those fields. Diet and nutrition is not.
Right.
It's not. I mean, one of my dear friends, and actually one of our medical director at CB Supplements, her name is Dr. Kate Shanahan. She's a 25-year primary care physician in traditional medicine, not holistic. But she's crossed over into both worlds, and she's written books on our what nutrition can do for our genes, and how they can just change everything. So, to get back to your original question about what really happened with Leanne and I when it came to Vivian, her health was getting worse. It's being told that you have a 2-year-old that is diagnosed with asthma, and you're like, how's that even possible? They're two.
Yeah.
How can you diagnose such a thing? And like, what is asthma? And then you're in the hospital for a respiratory illness where she can't even breathe, and you have 106-degree fever. They're prescribing steroid after steroid, and her behavior is so bad, and her skin just starts getting so dry because she's all jacked up on drugs. At some point, you just kind of go, okay, it's time to see what else is in the world. And it started by I discovered Abel James, his podcast called The Fat Burning Man Show.
I follow him. He's got some great stuff. Yeah.
And really, I liked him because of his voice. He had a deep, good radio voice. I do a lot of traveling and driving for work, so I'm like, just start listening to it.
Yeah.
And then you listen to him interview, David Perlmutter, and he'll interview Rob Wolf, and he'll interview Kate Shanahan and Mark Sisson and Dave Asprey, and then you read all of their books, and then it's Josh Axe, and you read his book, and then you just see there's this whole world of gut brain health connection. And we took Vivian's health into our hands. I started making changes, as small as just going gluten-free, and then watching, is there canola oil or olive oil in something, and how much sugar are we really eating? What is a vegetable oil? What's a saturated fat, and what's a polyunsaturated fat? And actually, saturated fat's better for you. So it's like just discovering all those things. That took time, and I did a lot of things to myself first, and then we put them on Vivian. And by the time that she was 4, life had completely turned around. But that was a tough 2 years, and now we're reaping some of those benefits. As she's an 8-year-old, she's faster than every boy in her class, and she's super healthy.
Good for her. Good for her.
It's tremendous turnaround, kind of like yourself. It's truly inspirational.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So talk to me about, you're listening to all these people, Dave Asprey, and, putting butter in the coffee, and all these other people on Abel, his podcast. I've listened to many. And how did you kind of fall into collagen? But what is collagen? Like, what is it?
Yeah. I'll answer that question first. So collagen, it's the most abundant protein in our bodies. It's the protein that's going to make up your bones primarily. There's going to be the phosphorus and the magnesium and the minerals that are the structure of your bones, and the collagen fills in those webs that they all connect with. Your tendons and ligaments, so your joint, a lot of joint material, connective tissue, that's all collagen. Fingernails, hair, the whites of your eyeballs. I'm telling you, it's the most abundant protein. When we're looking at each other, you basically see water, gas, and collagen. That's what we're looking at. But no one knows what collagen is. They think it's what celebrities inject in their lips, and that's it. Well, actually, your small intestine is lined with little collagen that look like this, called villi or villi. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I still don't know the right way. But like, our bodies are just living, breathing mechanisms of collagen.
Yeah. And so you
foundation is. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you were breaking up. So I finish up.
It's just I was just finalizing the point that it's the most abundant protein in our body.
Yeah. So how do we not know about it, right? We know about whey protein. We know about protein, and, there's, all the different equations of how much protein somebody should eat. Where does collagen kind of fill in the gaps?
Yeah, it's such a good question. Why do we not talk about it? I think because we used to eat nose to tail. We used to eat the entire animal. Generations ago, you wouldn't just kill an animal for the muscle meat and then throw everything else away. You would eat the organs. You would harvest the bones. You would make broth out of the bones, and then those bones would be passed to your neighbor, and then they would make more broth, and we would just drink everything. I mean, we would drink the blood of the animals.
Yeah.
We don't do any of that anymore. We slaughter an animal, we take the muscle meat, and then the rest, whatever. So it's just fallen out of style. And also the process of making collagen from bones and the tendons and ligaments and everything of an animal, it's very expensive. Our product is not cheap. You know, whey protein is easy. It's a byproduct of making cheese for crying out loud. So, you know, the soy protein world is a byproduct of making soybean oil, which is a toxin in and of itself. But it's just most of these are just byproducts of another industry. Where
Yeah.
collagen, you know, we're the supplement company that actually I would tell people don't buy our product. Use food as medicine. Drink bone broth and eat a ton of eggs and eat bone-in ribeyes and get your collagen from food. But if you don't want to drink bone broth every day, we have an unflavored collagen you can throw in your coffee, and you know you don't taste it. Or we've got a chocolate flavor that you drink in water. So you know we're very unconventional in that we tell people don't buy our product. Get
Yeah,
it from
I
food.
love it. Well, let's talk about that because messaging, I think, is so important, right? So you have to educate the person on even why they need collagen. Then part of your marketing pitch is educating on what to do so you don't even need the product, right? So
Yep.
so how as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, as a founder of this company, how have you've got this story that people I think can connect with, but then how are you messaging it on a consistent basis so people kind of raise their awareness when it comes to it?
Yeah, that I think that the mathematic equation of health, there's about 10 things that are going to add up to equal that 10 number. And of those 10 things, collagen is one of those pieces.
Yeah.
And we're the company, well, so they're going to say, okay, why don't you sell something that's the other 9 pieces? Well, one of those pieces is cut down on the amount of sugar that you're eating. You know, so we're not going to, that's why we use stevia in our product. We don't use any sugar. Another one of those pieces is we're not anti-carb at CB Supplements. However, not all carbs are created equal, and we do lean towards a fat-focused, ketogenic, carnivore-esque diet. You know, saturated fat is a great thing. Animal protein is a great thing. And another piece of that pie is that vegetable oils, seed oils, which are canola, cottonseed, corn, sunflower, safflower, and soybean oil that are in everything. If people just start looking at a label and they see these things, we have won. We're just raising the awareness of people that that's another huge piece of the pie. Cut out all these god-awful oils that are giving your body just inflamed, toxic fat that are going to make up the membranes of your cells. It's gonna kill you in every way slowly. So that's really our messaging, that we're so much more than just a collagen company. We want people to come to our website like you're showing, learn something, and then make a change. You don't even have to buy our product. Use our website as a resource to just learn more about health, and then we've done our job.
Let's talk about, I want to dive into the 5 types, but I want to talk about inflammation for a minute, because I think that a lot of people don't talk about inflammation, but stagnation, inflammation in our bodies, nutrition, what we put in our bodies, it's interesting because unless, and you need, I believe you need specialists to kind of guide you to what makes sense for you. So I'm a pretty healthy eater, but my body for the last couple of weeks has been in a ton of pain and aches, and I couldn't figure out why. Went to my holistic doctor. I go to a guy named Randy Tent, and he said, "You have gout," and I had no clue. And all the foods I was eating, which many were healthy, were making it worse. And so then you get a list of what you can and can't eat, and you start realizing certain things, and you start educating yourself. And so when it comes to inflammation, there's certain foods I eat because I have gout right now that will just create inflammation in my body. Inflammation is the worst thing that you do not want inflammation in your body. So an anti-inflammatory program is so good. What does collagen do to help with the inflammation to create an anti-inflammation diet?
Yeah, so collagen is just a natural anti-inflammatory. So it's going to help decrease the amount of inflammation in your joints and in certain areas of your body where you have inflammation, especially the gut. the beauty of here's the like, it's not entirely accurate, so don't take this as religion, but since we have video, I can kind of show you how the gut works, just the most rudimentary knowledge. So if this is your gut lining where you can't see through it, your body is so smart that it's going to tell your gut lining like when to open and close and take certain nutrients and put them on the transportation mechanisms, which a lot of times are big ass HDL and LDL particles that bring vitamin D or collagen or anything else, throughout the body, through our bloodstream. So your body does this naturally. Our diets in America have created this constant state of like open gut permeability, that there's just free range for all of the bad things that we're eating to attack our bodies. And what collagen does, that crazy guy that did the Flex Seal commercials where you cut the boat in half and then you spray Flex Seal? That's kind of what collagen does. It'll spray Flex Seal on everything so that this happens. And then it gets the body back into regulation where it can open and close, the intestinal permeability when it wants. Because we believe that most, if not all, inflammation starts usually in the gut. If you get punched in the head, you're going to have inflammation there. So it didn't start in the gut. I get that. But a lot and most of inflammation starts in our gut and then goes all over our body from there. So that's how collagen just brings the whole level of inflammation down by helping the gut.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. I love that. All right. So talk about, I am curious because you talk about how there's all different types of collagen, right? Types 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Are those just different flavors, or are those based on types for people?
So there's actually like 28 types of collagen or so. We have a pretty funny article somewhere on our website and a dig that like we've found research that shows we have 16 types. There's 28 types. I think I saw somewhere there's 96 types. Nobody really knows. The most consistent. There's the funny picture.
Yeah.
The most consistent that we've seen is 28. But it's such a new field. There's not a ton of research into this, and it's super hard to study. So like type 4 collagen cannot be found anywhere in nature. You can't eat it. You can't get it. It's just in our bodies, and our bodies manufacture it. And that's how most collagen is. Most types are. However, these 5 that we have in our product are the most abundant and found in other animals that we can consume and that our body uses. And really type 1, 2, and 3 that you're highlighting right there, those make up 90% of the collagen in your bodies. Type 1
How
and
do you
3,
know which one to buy? How do you know which one to buy of your products?
Yep. So our product contains all of them, all 5 of those types, because since we're a multi-source collagen, so each animal gives you a different type. It's kind of like the vegetable garden, where broccoli is going to, a cruciferous vegetable is going to help you this way, but a carrot is going to help you this way, and a squash is going to give you this, and even an avocado is going to give you that. So every vegetable, do you just eat broccoli all day every day, or do you eat every single vegetable? That's that. And most products on the market are type 1 or type 3 beef collagen, and that's it. That's all they offer. That's Vital Proteins. That is their bread and butter, and it's not a bad product. Just like broccoli is not a bad thing, but there's so much more to the garden. But if someone is only going to take Vital Proteins, type 1 beef collagen, fantastic. That's better than nothing. I'd rather them take that than nothing. But our product is going to give you type 2 collagen, which is where it's what your joints are made of, and you get that from chickens. It's also going to give you type 5 collagen, which if you're a female and you're in the baby growing ages, the placenta is made of type 5 collagen. So you should probably be getting that from either a crap load of eggs or take our product. Same thing with type 10. It comes from eggs and chicken. That helps with your joints are made of type 10. So when you take a type 1 or type 3 beef collagen only, you're missing out on types 2 and 10 because you don't have chicken and egg. So can your body take that, type 1 beef collagen and turn it into a type 2 joint collagen material? I don't know. Probably, because our bodies are just smarter than we are, and they're fantastic. But I'm not going to say yes, they absolutely can. But I'm also not going to say no. But that's why we created a multi-collagen complex that uses a bunch of different animals, beef, chicken, fish, eggshell membranes, and we use chicken bone broth as an ingredient so we can get all the cartilage and the tendons and ligaments from that complex. And it just gives us a total collagen complex product as opposed to just using a beef skin like a lot of companies do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You are, I love when I talk to entrepreneurs who had a situation like you did with your daughter, Vivian. You listen. I mean, I'm sure you did a lot of things other than just listen to Abel James, but you're out there educating yourself, and then an idea pops in, and then boom, you have a company where you're then helping so many people and doing helping people all over the world. So it's great. I love those types of stories, to the entrepreneurs out there who are in a situation like you are, maybe from a medical standpoint, maybe from a non-medical standpoint, but just see a better way out there of doing something, but don't necessarily even know what it is. What's the first step they can take?
Just start the action. Just do it. But I would say, you want to be selling something that you believe in and that you take yourself. Yeah. We've been very careful at who we've brought into CB Supplements as partners, and who we've worked with from like an advertising perspective, that we're not going to work with somebody that's not going to take our product. And we're also not going to work with somebody that doesn't believe in our product. So it helps when you love what you're selling and there's a why to it. You've got to have a why. And like my why is that I've got this beautiful, healthy 8-year-old daughter now, and her 2 little brothers have benefited from all these life changes, that they're super healthy. So yes, my family is crazy. We've got all of our house is very loud. We're not perfect by any means. So I'm not just saying, oh, we've got it all figured out, but we're in a whole lot better of a situation than where we would be if we didn't make these changes.
Yeah.
And if I can help another mom or dad get to where we are in terms of health, that's our why. That is why we are in business. And so you gotta have passion about your product, and you gotta have a why, because not every day is perfect. So on the days that aren't perfect, you reach for your why and you go, oh, this is why we're doing it. So I'm going to put in the work to do the work that I don't really want to do.
I love it. Charlie, I love it. You ready for a quick speed round?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Minus Abel's podcast, favorite podcast, and why?
Tim Ferriss. He has interviewed some of the coolest people in the world. And so he interviews Ray Dalio, who has the best hedge fund ever. And you get to hear that, how he did it. What could be better?
Yeah, I love Tim Ferriss. I just actually downloaded a new app, a meditation app that Tim Ferriss recommended, called Waking Up by Sam Harris. Yeah, it's great.
Sam Harris. There you go.
Yeah. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Ask for help. Don't try to do it all yourself.
Yeah, that's good. Finish this sentence. One thing everybody needs to do to take that first step to get their health back on track today is
start reading labels.
Yeah, and that's a good one.
Just start ask a question like, what is this? Oh, it says corn, canola oil, salt. Well, okay, I can pronounce all those words, but what is the corn? What is the canola oil? And what do they do to the body? Just start reading labels and asking why.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Charlie, a couple of things I want to kind of highlight, that you talked about. The importance of knowing your why, critical. The ability of asking for help. The power of listening to other experts. So a lot of that sometimes sparks just ideas in you, but really just raising awareness and helping others. I think I'm a big believer. A lot of times we teach our own pain, and when we can turn our pain into a business that we can be a conscious capitalist in, where we can help a lot of people and make money. And then the more money we make, the more people we can help. I think it's the greatest. Any final thoughts from you, Charlie?
I really appreciate you having me. I would say my final thought is also to invest in yourself by being physical, working out, finding some type of routine that will make you sweat, make your heart race, and just invest in that physical side. Because I have yet to meet somebody who is in really good shape that's really unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Think community. I appreciate you reaching out. You can reach Charlie at cbsupplements.com. Has all of his products on there. I love what you talked about as far as investing in yourself. You can go over to johndwaskin.com. You can download my my book or my 100-page ebook workbook for free. Just go to johndwaskin.com. Charlie, I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks for educating us today about getting healthier, about collagen and all that other great stuff. Think community, cbsupplements.com. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate you.
Thank you.